Eagles Giants, NFC East matchup here. The Saquon Barkley revenge game, if you will, which is kind of my matchup that matters here. I think that Saquon Barkley and what he could be for the Philadelphia Eagles, specifically, it needs to be better than what it was last week. And yeah, I jokingly kind of said my matchup that matters is Saquon versus revenge. I don't know how much Saquon hates the Giants, so I don't know if it's going to be that. He's probably slighted, certainly, with them not prioritizing him and bringing him back and making him the face of the franchise. But, he's been having some really good games over the course of this season with his new team. He's 12th in PFF rushing grade. He's 3rd in total rushing yards, 9th in yards after contact. Forced missed tackles, he's top 15. Rushes of 10 or more yards, he's top 15 as well. So it's a really good year, really solid year, I think, all around for Saquon Barkley. But in particular, I looked at their matchup last week against the Cleveland Browns, and where they won that game, Carmen, I felt like they were too feast or famine with their two receivers coming back in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And that's what I was a little worried about with this team is, yeah, okay, obviously it always looks better when you get your stud receivers back, but it looked like they leaned on them too much to win this game. You can't just count on the explosiveness at all times. This should be a team that runs the football well, and they did not do that last week. 3.2 yards per carry for Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley as a combined team last week. And like I said, I know it's a good Cleveland defensive line. It's a good Cleveland defense, but if you're the Eagles, it cannot be just, all right, shot plays to A.J. Brown or shot plays to Devontae Smith as good as they are. They need to be a much better team at running the football, and they're up against another really good defensive line this week, but they've got to show more in the run game, in my opinion. So that, to me, is that matchup that matters. But what about you?
Yeah, for that reason, that's my plus factor is Saquon Barkley. Again, he's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, a little bit of an extra motivation. He did say that he doesn't know he doesn't think that the fans will boo him in New York. And again, this is a bitter rival. And I think that even if he wasn't prioritized and fans know that he wasn't prioritized by the New York Giants organization, to go willingly to the Philadelphia Eagles is not going to fly with any other team in this division. And so I do expect that Saquon Barkley will probably get booed. And does that add to his motivation? The Giants are really middle of the pack as far as run defense goes. So you're probably going to have an opportunity there. So take advantage of it. Like you're saying, you should be running the ball. That's the reason you went and you got Saquon Barkley. I get that you want to use your stud wide receivers. You want to use the guys that you're paying, but you're paying Saquon Barkley too. And again, that just kind of opens up another dimension to this offense, especially if you get Jalen Hurts involved in the run game too. Then you have a situation like they have in Baltimore where you have two runners that defenses have to account for, one of which is the quarterback. And that's going to open things up for both of them. And in turn, open things up again for the rest of this offense, which does include A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So my plus factor is Saquon Barkley, and then the matchup that I think matters is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. If the Eagles are going to insist on running these guys, which I guess it still does make sense, the Giants corners played well against Cincinnati. So they have a 65.7 PFF grade, Giants do, their corners in particular, and that ranks 15th. So again, middle of the pack, but we've seen some good performances out of them, and I have to think in a division matchup, they're going to show up as well. So Devontae Smith, really, really, really reliable, has not had a drop. And A.J. Brown, he's so good at those contested catches. He's got 3 of them already this season, 2 receiving touchdowns. Both of these guys have those. So give the Giants defense, which is the strength of their team, all that they can handle. Overwhelm them between Saquon Barkley and these two guys, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. That's really hard if this offense is firing on all cylinders to contend with.
My plus factor in this, to round things out here for this game, is simply Jalen Hurts, because I talked about what he could be more in the run game with this team as an added option there with his legs, but really it's him as a passer. Now, I understand his top 2 receivers has missed some time, and that's going to go into these statistics, but career low big time throw percentage this year, career high turnover worthy play percentage. No matter how you slice it, that's not the direction that you want to be going in those things. And so for Hurts, it just needs to be a lot better. It feels like he has been struggling to get back to form of that 2020 postseason and Super Bowl run. And this year it feels like he's even worse than he was the previous season. So now you got these guys back. You got some better health along the offensive line as well with Lane Johnson. You obviously have a stable running back to hand the ball off to. Let's see some steadiness. Let's see some efficiency, even if it's not lighting the world on fire. Let's have a turnover-worthy play-free game here from Jalen Hurts. Let's have a couple of nice first down scrambles, big-time throw or two. Let's just get back to efficient football. And I think that that's what the Eagles really need to sort of stabilize what feels like an unstable situation here with them. Hurts, I think, has unfortunately been a factor there, but I think he can remedy that with these two guys at receiver back. So let's trend in the right direction there. Like I said, let's have a turnover-worthy free football game. And I think that he could be that plus factor to get the Eagles a victory if he is able to do that.